Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Avernum 6. We are in Barga's little torture prison, where we just stumbled upon the person we were looking for, Rick Dracer, completely unexpectedly. I totally thought this was going to be about something else. Oh yeah, right, Matt Slith. Forgot about this guy. Well, I guess there's no helping it. Let's end his suffering, I suppose. We don't see those guards that were announced to us quite yet. Okay, let's see here. I also want to use the time to buff. Okay, that guy hits pretty hard. Dracer, unfortunately, doesn't really seem to want to wait. Instead, rushing forward, potentially to their death. Actually, hold on though. Where are they? Okay. Let's see. Oh, what? Huh? Do I see any enemies? I don't. Combat has begun. If you say so. Maybe because I guess Dracer is considered an ally right now, and they saw the enemies? He saw the enemies? Dracer? Breck? Dracer? Dracer is just a title, right? So Breck. Captain Corty? 666. Okay. Sure, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, yeah. And an assassin. Interesting. Why would Barga have assassins? Dedicated assassins. Well, either way, let's see how this goes. I mean, we're partially prepared, at least. Yeah. Okay. No first turn kill. Although presumably this wolf is the least of our problems here. Okay, yeah, assassin poisons. But it's just poison, it could be worse. I think I'm gonna risk buffing War Blessing here. Oh, hey. Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know what I expected, or why I didn't expect Breck to have any special attacks. Because it looks like some sort of spellcaster. So that's good. Ooh, nice one. That was some good damage. I like that. I think we're gonna focus on this assassin, because I just don't like being poisoned. I don't know, I'm weird like that. Not a huge fan of being poisoned. We're obviously also going to try and keep Breck safe, although, you know, considering he just endured what I can only assume was a pretty horrible experience, and I'm not entirely sure if we were given any kind of time frame for how long he's been imprisoned here and tortured. But, you know, either way, he's still in surprisingly good shape, good fighting condition after all that. So good on him. Okay, so the captain is just standing there in the back, shooting Breck. In the back, shooting Breck. This person is running. Well, you can maybe kill this guy? No. No double attacks in there. You can finish them off, though. Okay, yep. He's, understandably pissed at our mage. Nice. Good damage, too. I wonder, is he gonna heal himself? I mean, he's not in particular danger right now, so I don't know. I guess I could throw a heal his way, just to make sure he survives. Oh, yeah. I mean, none of us desperately need healing, so might as well, right? There. He deserves it, I think. I guess we can unpoison Ayali, though. Wait. Oh, what? Hold on, what? I was looking elsewhere, and then I saw something moving here, and I thought another enemy had joined, but apparently Captain Court ran all the way over? Interesting. Okay, impressive, too. Not that I'm sure I understand what his plan might be, because, you know... I guess he's... Yeah, I don't really know what he was trying to do. I guess he tried to come after Lulu, perhaps? It seemed that running around this corner and, you know, away from us in this direction was the best course of action. Yeah, I'm not sure that assessment was particularly wise, considering he's dead now, so... Anyway, Sniper's Vest, hey there. Dexterity and Sharpshooter. It's tempting, but honestly, I think it's time that I kind of commit to one or the other of her specializations, and, or rather, you know, specialize as opposed to trying two different things at once. And let's face it, her range damage is never gonna be amazing. I mean, she can definitely deliver some decent shots now and then, but most of the time she's pretty busy, and like in any fight that really matters, in any fight that's actually challenging, she's always busy keeping everyone alive. So, yeah, unfortunately, don't really have a use for that. Anyway, that's fine. Okay. Alright, Brett Gracer escapes, and that gave us experience. Awesome. I mean, I suppose we got what we wanted, so theoretically we didn't need to save him, but it's nice that the game rewards us for ensuring that he did. Even though I feel like he almost could have just fended for himself, even if we hadn't helped. Well, probably not, against all those enemies at once, if they all had attacked him. But, well, anyway, of course I wasn't gonna let that happen. Blade Master? I did go to 10 dual wielding, so we should be good there. I think I'm not going to put any points in, or actually, hold on. Just a second. Right, okay, so I was hoping that Blade Master 7... Yeah. No? Never mind. I don't know why I thought Lethal Blow just popped up there, because it didn't. But I do want to increase Blade Master, because at some point that should unlock Lethal Blow. But it still doesn't say a cost, so I guess we haven't unlocked it yet. I guess I'm getting Blade Master... some Blade Master bonus from an item? And that's why it's not unlocked? This is so unnecessarily complicated. Yeah, okay, so we are getting Blade Master +1 from that sword. So that does not count. And we are also getting +1 from the thrusting gauntlets. Okay. And +1 from the helmet. Yikes, okay, so we're not as close to unlocking that Lethal Blow as I hoped. Because I would like access to that eventually. But we also want Blade Master, just for the sake of Blade Master, because it just increases our damage, so, you know, and it's the cheapest way to do so right now. So that's good. Yeah, and I've basically given up on ever gaining access to the higher combat abilities, battle disciplines, just because that's, you know, they're so unreasonably expensive to get. I don't know what they were thinking. Okay, anyway, what do you think? How hostile is Barga going to be? Hello? Oh, not hostile at all, apparently. You enter Barga, the northern city in the Abyss. The tale of Barga has been, since the day of its founding, one long series of battles, with giants, with the Empire, and now, you would guess, with everyone. Well, maybe pretty soon with us, specifically. Barga has reacted to the crisis by turning into an armed camp. Warriors, brigands, farmers, all of them are clustered inside the city. The guards keep a close watch on them, simultaneously protecting them and holding them here. Many of the people are hard at work, having been conscripted to help build up the defenses. A large stone keep fills the entire northeast corner of the town, looming over everything. Okay, that's our immediate goal. Now that our other goal that we technically had when we came here, finding this overbuy person, is no longer relevant, but of course, I guess we're still going to encounter them somewhere. As you enter, the guards watch you suspiciously, and everyone else takes pains to move away from you. Nobody blocks your progress. Then you hear someone shout, "Stop! By the command of Lord Farrar! Stop or die!" To the southeast, several armed men in leather jerkins, sword drawn, run around the corner. They're heading toward the west gate. Oh, I guess they're not shouting at us, but someone's shouting at those people? What's going on? Fleeing mercenary. Why would we get involved? Why are they hostile towards us? Should we even get involved here? I mean, we don't really have much of a choice. I suppose we could choose just to not attack them and let the guards deal with them? Huh. Which seems like they're quite capable of doing. Well, this is awkward if nothing else. And they're trying to escape. Honestly? If they're not going to attack us, necessarily... Who are you? And Juoza. Alright. I'm gonna see if they will actually just run away. Well, I don't know if they are trying and just unable to at this point. Well, I mean, that guy is unable to because he's dead. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. No way, unfortunately. I suppose in that case I might as well grab some experience. No, you know what? I'm not gonna get involved here. This is not our fight. I mean, watching them get slaughtered is not particularly honorable, but there was literally nothing I could do, unfortunately, so... Yeah, what was that all about? Now that the running men have been killed, one of the guards turns and shouts to all of the watching townsfolk. You see that? That is what happens when you try... when you try to leave. None can abandon Barger without Lord Farrar's permission. The penalty is death. The guards return to their duties. Several men come to collect the bodies, and the terrified people try to pretend that none of that just happened. Huh. I mean, the game called them mercenaries, though. Why would mercenaries not be allowed to leave? Who presumably aren't necessarily from here. And I suppose they could be mercenaries that are native to this place. Huh. Juoza. There's a middle-aged woman circulating among the farmers, asking about the status of their farms and giving them orders for how to proceed. They all listen to her attentively. She is a small, unarmed person, but the farmers seem terrified of her. After directing one of them to expand his orchard, she turns to you and smiles sweetly. Ah, the Evernight. I'm Juoza. Lord Farrar has given me the honor of directing the farmers in how food will be grown now. Surely nothing that would be interesting to a warrior like you. I'd like to speak with you? She shakes her head and sighs. You have not received permission from Lord Farrar to be here. If you had, I would have heard of it. She points at the large keep in the northeast corner. Our wise lord is in there. If he approves of you being here, I would be happy to speak with you. Well, that might never happen. Honestly, I don't know if I want to have his approval. Overbuy, rare items. Well, that's interesting in two different ways. Overbuy takes the letter with the message, right, and reads it eagerly. Yes, several jobs for me to do, people to find, items to procure. Very profitable. Oh, right, because he's not necessarily allied with Melanchion or anyone else. He's just like an information dealer? Right. Okay, anyway, very profitable. Let me reward you. He gives you a large bunch of coins. Okay, fair enough. Also, hi. This is a small trading post. It's completely packed with items, new and old, cracked and in good repair. It is not your regular shop. All of the objects seem to be, in some way, old or unusual. The proprietor rises from his desk, steps over a pile of mixed junk, and shakes your hand. I am Overby. Yeah, he has a bit of a nervous stammer. Welcome to my little shop. I obtain things. I have a knack for it. Finding things. I would like to speak with you. I mean, we are speaking with you right now. I would be glad, but you haven't permission to be here? You are an outsider. I would like to help, but talk to Lord Farrar. I can't trade with you without his permission. I mean, I wasn't going to trade with you. I just wanted to talk. Okay. I guess we have no choice but to seek an audience with the Lord himself. And I was kind of hoping to just avoid dealing with him entirely. Escape tunnel warning traps. Interesting. Difficulty 20. We cannot reach that. I don't think... Oh, actually, hold on. Save. Are these good enough? They are. Ooh. Well, I wonder if this escape tunnel might connect to a certain prison. I also wonder if our tool use skill is sufficient to deal with the traps, considering that the door that led here was level 20. Or the lock was. This is a dusty, concealed passage with a low ceiling. Well, it's not particularly concealed. There's literally a sign outside announcing it. It's not immediately clear where it leads. The floor is covered with dust and mold. Nobody has been down here in a while. The floor ahead is trapped. Whoever excavated this passage, they wanted to make sure that nobody could pass through it easily. Huh. Weird. Okay. So far, so good. Why would we even need to deal with these traps? We can't. Huh. Is there any reason to even want to enter this area over here? I don't see any buttons on the wall, so it seems like no. Intriguing. There's an opening mechanism on the other side. What is this? Trap passage. Yeah, well, okay. Thankfully, all the traps that we actually need to deal with so far are manageable enough. Ooh, is this... Yeah, this has to be, like, right? Northeastern corner? This is just the passage, well, a passage leading from inside the city walls, admittedly, but still outside the fortress into the fortress. Has to be. Okay, we cannot deal with that, unfortunately. I mean, we didn't trigger any alarms or anything, so I just assume that we're good in that regard. Let's see, is that enough? It was. Honestly, I didn't expect that. Huh. You tried to turn this wheel, but it's too large and difficult. You just don't have enough available force. Interesting. Huh. I think this might actually be a strength check. Which is pretty wild. I mean, specifically that we apparently aren't strong enough to deal with it. I would not have expected that. Do we have any extra strength that we can give her? Because I think it takes the strength... These kinds of checks, they are supposed to be quite rare, from what I remember reading. And they consider the one person in the party with the highest strength score. I think. So 10 apparently is not enough. And I'm not sure that we're really going to invest in anymore. And, I mean, I doubt anyone else has any strength increasing equipment, or do they? I mean, he wouldn't. Now, I kind of wish I had held on to the odd item that might actually have had a strength increase on it. I decided we didn't need. Huh. I mean, this is also... It's also strange. I doubt this is related to the quest, right? Farar's Keep. She believes there's a secret passage into the fort of Lord Farar of Barga. Huh. If you find the secret entrance, bring news of it to Mother Twyman. I mean, we have found the entrance, and we did get a little text pop-up. A little message pop-up about the traps. It didn't mention the fortress itself in any way. Okay. Can disarm these as well. And those runes aren't anything. Huh, weird. So I guess it's possible that maybe returning to Mother Twyman, we could report to her about this passage that we found. But I feel like the game would have made that a little bit clearer. Typically, I think it would be more explicit about that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's quite strange. It's really, really weird how there is a very tough strength check at the end of it, if it really is. I don't know. It could be a situation where, the game says that we're not strong enough or something. But it's really just impossible to turn. But then why would that whole passage exist? So my guess is that it actually does require that amount, some high amount of strength. Good wife, Bebe? Bibi? Who knows? So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll keep looking. Hopefully that is not that passage, or else it seems like we're just not able to fulfill that quest. Actually, you know what? Now that I look at it more closely, it seems like that tunnel leads out of Barga, perhaps. That might be a way to bypass Barga. Because I'm assuming that the way to the east from here is sealed to us. Unless we can come to some sort of agreement with Lord Farar. Well, anyway, for now, we'll just keep looking. This inn has been here for many years, though now Lord Farar's keep looms ominously over it. There are no travelers or merchants here. It is full of farmers who stay in the city when they aren't working their farms. The innkeeper, a very tired and demoralized woman, walks up to you. A customer? An actual, genuine customer? Yeah, don't get your hopes up, lady. Not really sure that we're gonna buy anything here. I'm truly amazed. I am Goodwife Bibi. I would be happy to sell you a drink or a meal. I don't care what Lord Farar says. I even have a rare bottle of Almarian wine for sale. Oh, that's cool. We also have, like, 10 of them. Why are all these farmers staying here? The word of Lord Farar. Until he's sure they won't run off, they can only leave the city to work their land, and only when guards are with them. Otherwise, they stay in here, and whatever tent or bed has room for them. How do the farmers like it? Having to spend every day walking miles to their land, working it under Farar's direction, and then walk miles back with almost no food to eat and nowhere to sleep? I imagine they find it a dream come true. Yeah, okay, thanks. And you never have customers? Not for a week. Oh, just for a week? For some reason, merchants and travelers have been avoiding Barga lately. You were very brave to come here. Well, we have our orders, unfortunately. Can I get a room? No. Lord Farar sent word. Visitors are not to be helped without permission. She lowers her voice. I can sell you a very quick meal or a drink, but that's all. I don't want to end up in Farar's dungeon. Yeah, understandable. Could we inquire about the dungeon? Is that the one that we just liberated, or does he have another dungeon underneath his fortress? I guess we're gonna find out, probably. Well, what's on the menu? Ale, bread, and indeed 2 bottles of Almarian wine. You know what? There, let's be nice. Let's buy some bread. Oh, there's actually an unlimited number of bread. Or unlimited amount, I should say. Well, I guess that's all I need. She nods. Then she says quietly, safe travels to you. And if you are wise, you will leave soon, before Lord Farar has one of his little periods of anger. When that happens, somebody's going to end up... She shakes her head. Okay, thanks for the warning. Of course, leaving is not really an option right now. Quite yet. Okay. Oh. Sneaky, sneaky. Could this maybe be the secret passage? I mean, it's some sort of secret passage. You poke your head through a narrow opening in the wall, openable from the north. Everything in this narrow passage is dusty. This hidden passage must have been here, unused and forgotten for years. It leads directly into Lord Farrar's keep. It could be useful. Especially if, say, someone specifically asked you to look for such a thing. If you step farther out into Farrar's hall, however, there is a good chance of being seen. Okay. That means we save. And look around. Okay. Yeah. Let's not do that yet. I'm assuming there are guards around all the corners here. One of Lord Farrar's guards has sighted you. Okay. Interesting how we get a message this time, but not on the other side. He points at you and shouts an alarm. In an instant, you can hear the city of Barga going on alert. Farmers run for safety, warriors come running from all directions. You are now deep within hostile territory. Deep within shit. Let's save that for after we have had a maybe slightly friendlier talk with the Great Lord. Let's also pretend that we actually close this behind us. Which unfortunately the game does not allow me to do. Okay, well that was thankfully easy. And yeah, this is just very intriguing. I wonder if I had a character who's strong enough. If I could actually open this gate and reach this land here. These lands east of the Abyss. Ahead of time, earlier than I'm presumably going to reach them eventually. Huh. It's a fascinating thought, but of course there's not really anything I can do about it. Will they actually have a job board around here, I wonder? Oh, well, I guess that answers that. What have we here? Incanter Ownslager? Wizard. Okay. Ownslager? The city of Barga has one wizard in it, who lives in this small tower in the southwest corner of town. He is very well fed and very busy. However, when you enter, he is pleasant. He's pleased to speak with you. Ah, yes, a visitor. I see new faces so seldom. I hear so little of the new research in the tower colony. So exciting. I'm Incanter Ownslager. I'm Lord Farrar's head wizard. He looks around at his modest workshop. I'm almost ashamed to not be able to display more might to you. Still, in this remote region, you know how it is. Okay. Surprised Farrar doesn't keep his court mage, well, at his court. Tell me about Lord Farrar. Ownslager actually looks confused for a moment. Oh, of course, Lord Farrar. I confess that I do not pay much attention to goings-on in the town. Wait, didn't you literally just call yourself Farrar's head mage or something? Did I misread that? When Lord Farrar ascended, he made me an offer in return for my staying here, and I accepted. He mostly leaves me alone, though he does pester me when he needs information. Oh, okay. Huh. That seems like an interesting kind of relationship, but okay. What did he offer you? He leaves me alone. He makes sure that I always get as much food as I want, and he lets me research what I choose in my free time. It is far better than conditions where I came from. Yeah, I mean, that does sound pretty decent. You know, apart from the part where you're at the mercy of a tyrant. But, you know, where are you from? Where are you from? I came down from the Empire. Up there, I practically had to fill out a form to cast a single spell. It is much better down here. Of course, I've heard that the town is short on food. I suppose I should learn more about that someday. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe you should. What exactly do you do here? When I'm not studying, I do whatever little tasks Lord Farrar requires of me. He asks nothing terribly inconvenient, like, say, to help him with his fort. What sort of things does he ask of you? Sometimes there are armed brigands on the fields to the south. He sends me with his soldiers to help to burn them out. Yikes. Happily, they are rarely daunting foes. You helped to build his keep? Mainly the outer walls and the tunnels underneath. Tunnels underneath, you say? Tell me more. One long day's work by a skilled mage blasting rocks and shaping stone can replace weeks of labor of those without magical talents. Right. I would like some magical training. Would you? Oh, I'm so honored, but I'm afraid I can't train you until Lord Farrar has given permission for you to be here. He's at the Lodge Keep. You can't miss it. Okay. It was worth a try, but that was the expected outcome, of course. Is there anything in here? I guess it costs us nothing to dispel this. But nope, the answer is there is nothing in there. But what's down here? Obviously, it's never a bad idea to just wander into a mage's basement, dispelling magical barriers that are blocking off parts of it. Certainly for no particular reason. Imprisoned demon, huh? Hello. You're not one of the tougher demons I've met. So why don't we help Farrar, no, not Farrar, help Oldslager deal with this demon in his basement. Wait, what's going on? Oh, I'm dumb. That's what's going on. Hold on. I was on the wrong character entirely. Anyway, let's help him with this demon problem. Because I'm sure he wouldn't want this demon down here, and he must have accidentally summoned it, and he's almost certainly desperately trying to get rid of it. We're happy enough to comply, of course. Assuming we can. Okay. Yeah, the usual 3 attacks in a round, because that's fair. Lightning damage on both of them as well. Wonderful. Please tell me that you are not immune to acid. Okay, not immune. But, well, we'll see what he does next round. Could be kind of painful. Oh, we parried one attack, though. That is, honestly, the only reason she's still alive. So, I'm glad that happened. I mean, he's using lightning... He's using the lightning debuff. I don't know if that would mean that he's immune to the lightning spell, to lightning spell damage. I'll try fire? Okay. It works. It's not the most powerful. Not the most impressive damage I've ever seen, but it's okay, I suppose. Oh, he was stunned enough to only punch once. That's good. I would really like to get a second cast. I did not. That could be a problem. Let's try that lightning. Okay, more damage than the fire, actually. Right? I think so. I mean, he's down to 157. If we could actually get a nice double hit, quick action proc. Ooh, that was good. Come on, will aim blow. He's dead, right? Yeah, he's dead. Out of combat. Strong heal on him. And on her. On him again. Okay, lightning is gone. Wonderful. I mean, that was lucky. Let's face it. That parry was huge, and the fact that apparently we stunned the demon enough to prevent him from attacking twice, and then managed to kill him before he was able to do something. Yeah, those were all pretty lucky circumstances. I'll take it, though. There's a thin spellbook on this pedestal. It seems to have 2 incantations in it, written in an obscure form of magical script. Fortunately, you are able to decode it. The book describes 2 ways to interfere with time, making it pass faster or slower. Your skin with the spell's haste and slow increases. Awesome. That's huge. And we get some knowledge brew as well. I love it. Very good stuff. And a spellword scroll for good measure. I mean, Word of Elements, yeah, that seems like something I should probably be making use of. I keep saying that over. I keep saying that about literally every kind of consumable. Maybe eventually I will act on my own advice, you know. Okay, he doesn't seem to mind. That's good. I'm not really sure what I would have done if he had minded. Okay, the farmers are all hanging out here, being unhappy. Understandable. Alright, more stuff, more locked places. Where even is the entrance to the fortress? I suppose it's here? Is this entire... literally this entire complex of buildings, is that the fortress? Seems like it, right? Ah, yes. You walk into Farar's keep. It has been recently built, hurriedly and probably with the help of magic. There is a surprising amount of luxury. Lord Farrar must have obtained a fair amount of wealth. As you enter, a guard stops you. Halt! Lord Farrar has said he will see you. If you draw a blade, you will not escape alive. If you enter the back halls, you will be killed. Do you understand? You indicate that you do. Then proceed. Mighty Lord Farrar, unquestioned Lord of the Abyss, awaits. Unquestioned Lord of the Abyss, huh? Well, at least half of the Abyss would beg to differ. Drive off the farmers. A farm to the south in the contested lands has been seized by a foul and insolent clan from Spire. Uh-oh. This clan is led by an unwashed thug named Roark. Oh, okay. They need to be driven out for the glory of Barga. Should they be removed, report this accomplishment to Djoza. You will be paid very, very well. Clear the tunnel. The tunnel under Barga, which could be used to slip into the hostile lands to the east, is trapped. These traps were left by a prior wizard and need to be replaced. Anyone who can remove the traps will be rewarded by Encounter Onslager. The stairway down to the tunnel is in the northwest corner of Barga. Interesting. I assume that if I had, or, well, now that I have accepted a quest, the door would no longer be locked? Somehow, magically? Because surely a level 20 lock is not really something you can expect any player or any party to be able to deal with. Of course, there are Tinker's Crystals, but I could have theoretically used up all of them. Like, literally all the ones that are in the game. So, yeah, presumably that door would have opened for us no matter what. Hey there. The wizard is happy to hear that the traps have been disarmed. Now I can place traps that are under our control, shall we say. As a reward, he gives you 2 potions. Okay. Speed and energy elixir, alright. We also leveled up some more. Okay, 6 skill points. I mean, I do want to increase his strength. Yeah. And for that, unfortunately, we'll need to use 2 potions. I mean, I suppose I can do that. What else do I have them for, right? I could give him this knowledge elixir. I've kind of been hoarding it, you know, as if it was more special than just basically 2 knowledge brews combined. So, you know. There. Just drink that. 1 less click, I suppose, or a couple less clicks. A couple fewer. Strength. Okay. That did not unlock Blade Master yet, but that's what I expected. Yeah. We'll get there eventually. The cost at least did not go up any further, so there's that. As for you, you have 8 points available. Can I increase magical efficiency twice? I can. For an average 25% cost reduction? I mean, that's not bad. Or I could put 1 point into spellcraft for more powerful spells. Hmm. Or I could actually increase some defensive stats, which I suppose I would choose luck. So that's apparently... Yeah, I mean, you can see the defense go up. By 1 point, then by 2 points. Then by another 1 point. I was really only looking at fire here as an example. But yeah. All the defenses go up. Across the board. Including all the elemental ones, stun and mental. As well as poison and acid. And armor. So it's... That's actually really quite solid. Especially considering it's not very expensive at all. Maybe I should do that? 8 points. Wait, actually just 7, right? Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good idea, but on the other hand... Is it really gonna allow him to survive that many more hits that he shouldn't be taking in the first place? Honestly, his spell resistances are already pretty good, so... Yeah, all the resistances are actually quite good, so... I don't know. I think I'm just gonna do what I always do and go for more offense. Because it tends to, you know, so far it has kind of worked out. As for this quest, I'm just not gonna do it, I think. It never feels great to just not do a quest that's available to me, but this one's clearly evil, so, you know. I mean, we talked to this 4R person. Not that I remember the conversation, like, in too much detail, but they didn't seem... I don't think they came across as a bad person. So, you know, I'd rather not get involved with that. Also, I did not expect Lord Farrar to be right here. Huh. Or, you know, his throne room to be this close to the entrance. But I guess that's how it is. Lord Farrar. You're greeted by Lord Farrar, Master of Barga, and the entire Abyss, depending on who you ask. He looks exactly like you expected. Enormous, a huge suit of plate armor, a massive sword, and a look of barely restrained madness. He evaluates you briefly, then he relaxes. He clearly regards you as no threat. So, the mighty army of Avernum sends a warrior. Well, yes, 2 warriors, a priest and a mage, but sure. You walked bravely into my fortress. I am Lord Farrar, Master of Barga, and I ask you, why are you here? Speak carefully. Your words will determine whether I allow you to be here. I've been sent to check conditions in the Abyss. I got lost. I'm looking for Breck Dracer. Have you seen him? My purpose is my business, not yours. I mean... Honestly, if I could, I would really like to kill this guy and see what happens. I'm not sure how feasible that is. If it turns literally the entire town hostile, including all the, you know, all the neutral NPCs that shouldn't get involved in the fighting, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, apart from the fact that I'm probably just physically unable to slaughter the entire town without getting slaughtered in, you know, without getting slaughtered first. I also don't want to slaughter everyone, even if I could. But at the very least, I would like to stay on somewhat friendly term with him for the time being, so I can maybe, well, I can talk with Overbuy and maybe deal with him, and also maybe get some training from or whatever his face, or Ornslager, something, I don't know. Yeah, I guess those are really the 2 NPCs that there are to talk to. That being said, I would like to bring up the issue of Breck Dracer, just to see how he reacts to it. I mean, he could just feign ignorance. Or he could get furious. Let's see which it is. Lord Farah's expression doesn't change, but he grows very red in the face. Oh, okay. There is a long pause while he determines the risks and benefits of simply killing you. Finally, he decides it is wisest to let you live for now. Yeah, kind of likewise. Then I'm sorry to say that your journey has been wasted. None enter or leave my lands without my knowledge, and I know nothing of this. Breck Dracer, was it? We can't help you. It would be wise for you to leave soon. So I may stay in Barga? You may, for a short time. You should look and see my city. A seed from which a new power in the underworld will grow. Avernum has grown weak and old, but young powers can now ascend. Maybe you could tell me more about Barga first. You know, while we are pushing our luck, we might as well go all in. Lord Farah nods, pleased that you asked. Oh, okay. The underworld has changed. We must adapt to those changes instead of pretending we can counter them. Otherwise, we will die. I am creating a new sort of city here. A city with a new way of raising food, a new sort of discipline, and a new resolve. How will you raise food? The blight is a fact of life. Maybe it was created, maybe it arose naturally. It doesn't matter. We must now live from the bounty of fruit trees, lizard meat, and wild game. There will be less food, and only those strong enough to flourish in the newer, smaller diet will survive. I mean, that's not entirely unreasonable, unfortunately. Of course, we still hope that eventually the mage's attempts to counter the blight in some way will be successful, right? But for the time being, looking for alternate sources and ultimately dealing with less food is pretty much a necessary reality. What is a new discipline? Obedience and loyalty. Once all of my people wanted to flee to the Great Portal, to escape, or to Avernum to beg for their charity. I realized then that letting them flee like sniveling cowards was not tolerable. We will only survive by staying together, my people unified under my wise rule. Yeah, okay, that's the part that doesn't make any sense. If there is less food and you admit that only those strong enough will be able to survive under those harsher conditions, why wouldn't you want those who can't tolerate that to leave, and only those who can to stay? Like, I mean, that would immediately solve the problem of, you know, too many mouths to feed. So, yeah, I don't know. Keeping people here forcefully, constantly having to keep them in check, that just seems like a very stupid idea. But, I mean, he is mad, so there is that. Right, your wise rule. Right. What is the new resolve? To stay independent in the time-honored way of the Abyss. I will kill anyone who tries to take my proud free city from me, be they human or slith. Okay, but what if it's a Nethel? Or a dragon? Oh, yeah, it's Darkly. Or a dragon. Okay. There's something else I want to know. He shakes his head. I have said all I wish to. Leave my palace now. Stay out of it. Stay out of its back halls. Enjoy the bounty of Barga, then leave. You nod, turn, and depart. Lord Farah watches you as you depart, judging the potential you bear, and the threat to him you pose. Then he rises to walk back into his keep. Okay. Well, he's pretty tanky. And he does indeed walk into the back. Interesting. So if I had not talked to him first, and then entered through the secret tunnel, and started fighting, would I have theoretically... I didn't even look at how strong those guards back here were, if they were realistic to fight, or if they were meant to be an unsurmountable obstacle. Insurmountable? No, whatever. I mean, now obviously he's gonna be back here somewhere, and I'll have to deal with him. I mean, I would have had to deal with him at some point anyway, but, you know. What? Excuse me? I didn't even leave. I didn't even try to. I mean, I didn't even try to go through here. What is going on? Wait. Bargain warrior. Why are bargain guards and warriors fighting now? Huh? That is bizarre. I guess I came close enough to the forbidden area to trigger these... Or rather... I mean, it didn't trigger anything. I think it's just that in the areas I'm not supposed to enter, there are NPCs that are already hostile. But since I didn't officially enter, and thus didn't trigger any alarm, the guards in the, you know, in the allowed section of the city are still friendly and on my side. So they got into combat now. That is quite fascinating. I suppose there's nothing stopping me from just participating here. I mean, if the guards themselves are fighting, then you know, they surely can't blame me for fighting them as well. One of Lord Farrar's guards has sighted you. Yeah, I mean, we're in the throne room where we're allowed to be. Are they actually... Wait. They ran away? What is going on? No, they're all hostile. Okay, that makes no sense. Game, you're drunk. I guess I should not have gotten involved and should have just let them kill each other. Either way, it would have been good for me if I was going to fight them eventually. Okay, whatever. I mean, that kind of worked out, but since we're kind of forced to start over anyway, let's check the other option here. I've been sent to check conditions in the Abyss. I see, a good response. Just plausible enough that I should probably believe it. Even if I do not. I would not dream of interfering with a legitimate envoy of Avernum, not while the power to the south maintains its small amount of strength. So I may stay in Barga? You may, for a short time. Okay. And the rest is the same. Blah, blah, blah. Something else I want to know. Conversation ends. Can we please talk to you? No? Okay. Well, I suppose we missed out on him lying about getting agitated and then lying about the Breck Dracer issue. Okay, let's save and actually see if we can do a similar thing again. I wonder how that worked. Interesting. Okay. Well, so let's just not be spotted by that warrior. And see who kills who first. Actually, I suppose we could ensure that this guy survives if we heal him. Because otherwise I feel like he's probably gonna lose. Come on, hurry up. They're both too good at parrying. No, wait, actually, the Bargain Warrior is taking damage. But so is this guy. Okay, I mean, he deals pretty good damage occasionally, but... yeah, but then most of the time, not so much. This could be it. Huh? Did the warrior not attack this round? Okay, now he did. Well, that's unfortunate. Huh. Interesting. Yoink. One less potential enemy to deal with in the future. I mean, we're good, right? We didn't trigger anything, so... That was interesting. Ownslager. Hey. I would like magical training now. Ah. Exorbitant prices. Ugh. Also... Terror, Cloak of Blades, and Summon Aid. Not particularly exciting. I mean, I could get Cloak of Blades, but we have access to all those spells already, right? We do. So, yeah, if there was a new spell to unlock, I would probably do it, but as it is... Even if we could afford those, I'm not going to. Hey, Oh, okay, now we can actually just talk to him. I need to find Breck Tracer. It's not true anymore, but... Overby's stammer becomes so pronounced that he can barely speak. Yeah, seems familiar. You can't get me killed. No, go away. I'm not leaving? Please, And then he deflates. All right. He looks out the door and then closes it. He also closes his window shade. Then he turns to you. Never should have... Never helped Gaul. He gets information. I get items. I should have refused. He didn't say Farrar captured Breck. Farrar is holding Breck? What? Farrar hates Melanchion. They are foes. Farrar does anything to prevent Melanchion from... He wants to stop the dragon from having influence. You must go. Where is Breck? Not in Barga. Farrar is careful. All I heard is that hidden in cells that way. He points to the northwest, a few miles, if Breck is not dead. He opens the door and window and says loudly, "No, I can't get these sorts of items. You must go." Then he does all but push you out of his shop. That's all you can learn from him. Okay, I mean, that I guess that would have been useful if we hadn't already found Breck ourselves. But anyway, can I see what you have for sale? Pretending nothing ever happened. Nephilim Warblade. 10 to 20 damage, strength, dexterity, fatigue removal. Alright. Dexterity doesn't do anything for warriors. I mean, it gives you a minor amount of dodge, I suppose, but that's it. Doesn't help with hit chance. Strength and fatigue removal, though, of course, are interesting and useful. I mean, if nothing else, it's another point of strength that I could give myself to see if maybe 11 strength is enough to turn that wheel. But presumably that's just... The requirement is just too ridiculous to really be able to ever meet it. Could get a Tinker's Crystal, but we have plenty probably. I guess I'm gonna buy the Flawless Crystal, even though it's a bit ridiculous. But there should only be a limited number of them in the game, right? And, you know, might as well grab that one. Similar with the Grey Mold. Just in case it's... I'm not sure that it is, but it might be an ingredient for those experience potions if we ever encounter who will make those for us. Supposedly, that will be possible at some point. Everything else... I mean, how good is this Warblade? 10 to 20 base damage. Oh, that's exactly what we have. Right. I mean, would we want a second one? Quick Action and Blade Master. Those are both good. I guess I prefer having a bit more variety, having these two different weapons. Although you know, just on the off chance that it actually does something, and I really don't think it does, I will buy this and equip it, increasing our strength to 11. And just don't have enough available force. Alright, oh well. I have something I would like to sell you. Oh, okay. Wait, oh, speed elixir, right. Energy elixir. Probably want to hold on to those. Forget to distribute those. Okay, just one final check. Drexkin bracers. Nah. Apprentice belt, 1 magical efficiency. Nah. Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, I could buy the return life scroll, but I haven't really found a reason to use even one of those yet, so. So, you know. I think we're good. Is there anything new to talk about with you? Can I get a room? No? Send word? I mean, we are allowed to stay, but I guess we're not allowed to stay for, you know, an extended period of time, so overnight is out of the question. Fair enough. Can we talk to you? Oh, right. Yeah, you promised to talk to me once we have permission to be here. What's happening in the Abyss? It's a time of great chaos. The Blight has forced us to adapt. Happily, Lord Farrar is here to help guide us, resist the assaults of Spire, and resist those who would destroy our freedom and way of life. Who exactly are you resisting? There are forces. Dark, reptilian forces. Hint, hint. Who could that be? Well, I suppose it could refer to the dragon or the Sliths, or both. They wish to gain influence in the underworld. They have even tried to bribe cities with food and supplies to get them to betray the rest of us. Lord Farrar is unflinching in his opposition to such treason. What is Spire doing to you? Spire and Barga have had a long rivalry. Recently, it has grown worse, since Spire has chosen to ally itself with dark, outside forces. For this treason to the Abyss, Lord Farrar will make sure that they are punished. Who is Spire working with? Oh, this is Abyss business, no business of yours. She smiles pleasantly. How will you punish Spire? They have long claimed farmlands that are ours. Little by little we will drive them off. With no food, they will have to abandon their city, and justice will be done. Ah, well. You tell the farmers what to do? She nods. I received instructions from mighty Lord Farrar, and I passed them on. The old way of growing food no longer works. The new way must prevail. What is the new way? Blighted crops must be torn up, fruit trees must be raised, as will lizards. We will fish and hunt bats and other wild game. In other words, we must adjust. Will this new way raise enough food for everyone? No, it is regrettable. Our new way of life has no room for the weak. Not that we allow the weak to leave. I guess they'll just starve to death. Sucks for them. But the blight is a fact, and we must adjust to it. What happens if farmers refuse your instructions? She smiles sadly. Such behavior is natural and regrettable. The people of the Abyss are proud. In such a case, I report the incidents to Lord Farrar, and our Lord deals with the situation fairly and firmly. The results invariably discourage future mutiny. Can I purchase some food? She shakes her head. Lord Farrar made it clear. There is no food for you here. All of our food is for bargains. Okay, not that I would want any of your food. Well, except the bread that I bought from the nice innkeeper lady, but, you know, that was an exception. Anyway, I mean, there's not really much we can do here, other than openly attacking Lord Farrar and his billion guards and the entire city, which seems like a terrible idea. I'm still tempted to at least give it a try. I mean, again, I should have at least checked the amount of hit points these guards had. I suppose I can do that right now. Just real quick. Maybe I did check. Okay, so 600. Will these raise an alarm, actually? Who are you? Dark Cultist. Dark Cultist, huh? So... accusing or calling the dragon a dark force, but having Dark Cultists working for you? Seems a little bit hypocritical to me. Well, anyway, we're not going to fight them now. I'm surprised we don't raise the alarm when we head over this way, as opposed to the other way. Right, because this happens immediately, right? Yeah. These do seem to be generally the same kind of enemies, though. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could just head back to the Spire, report about the secret tunnel, and maybe see if the mayor has any follow-up plans. Maybe anything that might actually help us attack Farrar. Because clearly, I mean, he means to eventually eradicate Spire, right? Or take over with force. So Anatolia will have to find some kind of way to fight back, or maybe take Farrar out before he can strike against Spire, right? And if we can help with that, I would be more than happy to. Especially if she can provide some sort of aid in that plan. But, well, I don't know. I suppose I will try attacking and see how far I can get. Presumably not very far. But who knows? Maybe it is possible. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes next time, of course. For the time being, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.